All right. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR.
Andrew Wilkins said, "How you been, Link?"
I've been pretty good, Mr. Wilkins. How are you? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay, and we are back for another live stream of LeMans Ultimate streaming in VR. Originally, I had planned to stream on Twitch today because according to the schedule that I was trying to keep, today would be the day that I would stream on Twitch. Yeah, that was no fluke. Here, let me adjust this and go inside the car. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, it still looks better. Let me adjust this one more time. Bring it back a little bit more. Okay, I think we can deal with this. All right, so as I was saying, normally today would be the day that I would stream on Twitch. And I was going to stream LeMans Ultimate on Twitch because I just can't get enough of this game. This is my favorite game.
Andrew Wilkins said, "How long does the battery last on the Quest?"
You want to know the truth? I don't know for certain. I can only speculate that it will last a couple of hours, as far as standalone goes. But I use my PC, my headsets for mostly PC games. I don't play too many standalone games. So I use this headset strictly as a PC headset. So unless you use a specific charging cable, when this headset is fully charged and I connect it to the PC, it doesn't charge the headset, but it slows down the dissipation of the battery. Therefore, when this headset is fully charged and I'm playing PC games, I could probably play for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 hours or something before I had to let the headset charge. But in standalone mode, yeah, you're probably looking at about a couple of hours. So, yeah, I'm looking around inside this car, and it is just so sharp in here. So yeah, I was going to stream on Twitch, and as I was saying, I was going to stream LeMans Ultimate. I normally would try to stream GT7, but since this game has come out, I haven't really had much urge to play GT7 or ACC. I love this game so much. This game has taken over as my #1 sim. This game has been well received, generally. It got a little bit of a bumpy start, but for the most part, the reviews were still very positive of this game. And this game has been out for about a week and a half now, and it's gotten about 4 updates since it's been out. And at this point, what I would say about the game is that anybody that's still playing the game say they love the game. And those that didn't like the game had pretty much refunded the game, or they said they'll come back to it after it's been, after the full release or after it's been optimized or something. And for all the bugs and stuff that people said that they've experienced, I haven't experienced many bugs. I mean, the only bug that I experienced that everybody else is experiencing is probably the lag in the menu. But I can get past that. It's only a few seconds that you have to wait. The loading time is kind of long, but I get it. It's loading all the assets and stuff. So I found out, it's a good looking game and it ran great. my thing was, I was like, I can't wait for this game to come to VR. Well, next thing you know, these VR tutorial videos started popping up. And so I checked out one of the tutorial videos. It is very quick and very easy to set up the VR on this game. Only takes you about 5 minutes. You just have to do a couple of settings in the game, and then you on Steam, you pull up properties, and then when that window comes up, you in the launch options, you type in plus capital VR. At the conclusion of this stream, I will go back and change the description, and once again put a link to the tutorial video that I watched in the descriptions for those of you that want to go watch me play the VR. So the first time I played the VR on this game, it did not look good. It was, my thing was, I was like, I'm okay with it. It's in a playable state, but I didn't think it looked that good. There was a lot of aliasing, a lot of jagged edges. And a couple of days ago, I played it just because I wanted to get, I wanted to get some VR time in on this game. And I was having fun. And so today I was going to stream this game in VR on Twitch. And my original plan was to wait until tomorrow to stream this game so I can stream it using my Quest 3, because honestly speaking, as far as streaming VR goes, like GT7 consistently probably gets the most views on my channel. And then as far as ACC goes, it seems to get more views when I use the Quest 3 versus this Quest Pro. My son has my Quest 3, and he'll be here tomorrow, and I'm going to have him bring the Quest 3 with him, and I had planned to do a stream tomorrow. But when I put this headset on and I seen how much it's been improved since the last time I played it, I was like, no, I'm going live now. So compared to the last time I played it, the aliasing, I'd have to say the aliasing is probably like been 70% reduced. The really fine things, like the edge of the road where the white line is, right there, I'm looking at it and it looks solid. But then when I look down, all the way down there by the Michelin sign, then that's where, I see a little bit of aliasing. But the line is so fine, you really can't do anything about it, because just about any VR game has aliasing in it when it comes to the microfine details. So like even the gate, I'm looking at that gate right there where the two marshals are, looks fine. But as I look further down there by the Michelin sign, again, it gets a little bit glittery, from the aliasing. But compared to what it looked like before, it's a vast improvement. And then the game still runs incredible. At first I was like, yeah, I was blown away by how good this game still runs. And then I said, wait a minute, let me check something out. Then I found out why this game runs so good and why it looks so good. When this game is completely polished, I am confident that this game is going to look just as good as Automobilista 2, if not better, in VR, and I think it's going to run better. What they did with this game, I think they took a page out of Automobilista and Project Cars 2 book. Automobilista 2 looks great. It's arguably the best looking game that I've seen in VR. And I found out one of the reasons why, and I'm getting ready to show you guys here in a second. Looking around, like inside this car is just sharp. Looking at that camera right there, the rear camera, now that does look a little bit downgraded, but that doesn't bother me one bit. As long as it's good enough that I can make out the cars behind me, I'm good with that. Over here, the mirrors look good. Now, I'm going to step outside this car and I'm going to show you why I think this game looks good in VR and why it runs good. So let me step out of the car. There it is right there. As you see right here, the car doesn't have any wheels. It doesn't have a rear spoiler. When you get up here, it doesn't have a windshield, and you can look up front, and I don't know, the lights might be there, but the plastic light shields aren't there. You can see it doesn't have front wheels. Like I said, it doesn't have a windshield. Doesn't even have windows here. It's got the bolt patterns for the windows, but it doesn't have a window there. So what they've done is they've taken out assets that you won't see, because for every, I'm led to believe that for any assets they take out of the game that you won't see, it will free up that much more resources in order for it to run good. Another thing that I found out why it looks and runs good, the crowd and the trees are all basically paper cutouts. But what I've noticed is, as you're going past the trees and as you're going past the crowd, it turns as you're going past it. So you never ever see the tree. Like if the tree would just stood still and didn't do anything, sooner or later you would get close enough to see the tree at an angle where you can see that it's a paper cutout. But the way they did it, and I'll show you guys once I get moving, the tree is facing you, and as you go past it, the tree keeps turning, so it's always in your line of sight. So it never looks like you never see it looking like a paper cutout. The crowd is the same way. I think that was an incredible move, because if you put the actual 3D objects in there, the actual 3D trees, the actual 3D crowd, I think it's going to tax the shit out of your computer. So I think they did a great job, just like on Automobilista 2, to give you a great looking environment that's not going to tax your PC. That being said, I think this game is going to run in VR on just about any PC that can run VR. I think if your PC is good enough to run VR, it'll be able to run this game. You know, if you got a potato and you're working off of a 1080 Ti or something like that, I can't speak to what it's going to look like for you. It also depends on the headset you're using. If you're using something like a Pimax Crystal or something like that, might tax the PC a little bit. But I think if you're using like an older, less demanding headset, like a Rift S on a 1080 Ti, or 2070, 2080 Ti, I think you're still going to get pretty good visuals. So let's go ahead and let's roll, and I'll show you guys what I mean about the crowd and the trees pivoting. To me, especially when it comes to sim racing games, I'm a graphics whore. That's why I built a $4,000 PC. The first time I ever played a set of Corsa Competizione, I believe I played it on my Alienware, which had a 2070 in it, and it didn't look good. Now, you see the crowd right there. As I'm riding past the crowd, I can see the crowd turning as I'm driving past it. Ingenious. So even though the crowd's not moving, you can't really see that they're paper cutouts. Look at the girl up there up top, how she's still turning towards me as I'm driving by. And got that floaty balloon up there. And then once we get around this corner, and I mean like right here, is just, the picture is just, it's so sharp. You know, like the microfine details, like the white lines on the edge of the track, you know, in the distance, yeah, you can see a little bit of glittering. Right there, the trees. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the trees were turning as I was driving past it. To me, that was an incredibly smart move to still give you a good looking environment, but I think it frees up the PC, it frees up resources of your computer, because you're not rendering an actual 3D tree. You're basically rendering a paper cutout that's turning as you drive past it. So you might see that tree right there as I'm driving past it. Yeah, you should be able to see it right there. The tree is turning as I'm driving past it. Runs incredible, runs incredibly smooth. Now, as far as these cars goes, the cars look incredible. Now, what I have noticed is, at times I don't see shadows underneath these cars. At times I do. I think, like right now, I'm not seeing any shadows underneath these cars. But I think that's because I'm racing under cloudy conditions, so the sun's not out. But we'll do a few laps here, and then we'll go to Monza, and I'll set the weather to be sunny, and then we'll look for the shadows. So well, like all that, it's just so clear. It's so clear and it's running so good. The AIs can still be a little bit stupid at race start. You know, everybody will take off at once, and then at some point in the track, they'll all get into a huge wreck, and there's just like a huge jam pile everywhere, and you have to go off the track to get around it. See the trees turning? As I'm driving past it, you have to be able to see it now. So you see what I mean about these trees being paper cutouts, and it just turns with you. I'm fine with that, because you know, at 170, 180 miles an hour, who the hell's gonna be noticing that? Nice. And inside this car, again, inside the car is razor sharp. Out of all the VR racing games that I've played, I pay attention to the inside of the car to see which one looks the most like a real life car that I'm sitting in. And I have to be honest, as far as sitting inside the car and how real it looks and not look video gamey, I think Automobilista 2 and maybe GT7, the cars look the most realistic. You know, sitting inside of them. I think this has to be up there with them, because now that it's been improved and a lot of the jaggies are gone, I definitely feel like I'm sitting in a real car. So I'd probably say that the only thing that really stands out, like this mirror right here, the mirror looks just as good as the environment. Now this rear camera, yeah, that's downgraded, but you know, I really don't care about that. But that could be a situation where I know when the first time I ever booted the game up, this camera, like by default, I think it's set to low. So I probably could crank the graphics up on this rear camera. Catch up with the other cars. I'll stay here in the back. Now, anyone that's wow, that all right, now I see some shadows. I see some shadows underneath the cars now. And I mean, now that the aliasing and the jaggies have been greatly reduced, you can see how beautiful these cars actually are.
Green, green, let's go.
Oh, see what I mean about that jam up? One of the cars just lost his rear wing. Right there, that car pinned against the wall lost his wing. So just picture so sharp, just on so good. Now, the one thing I might start doing, and I've never done this before. I mean, well, I've done it, but I don't do it that often. Is might have to start wearing earbuds because the audio is so damn good on this. Well, the Quest Pro that I'm wearing, the quality of the audio is pretty good. It's just not very loud. Yeah, but everything in the distance that, you know, it has the slight glitter from the aliasing, when you get right on top of it, the aliasing is just gone. It's just so sharp. So what I'm feeling like right now, I'm feeling like the VR is almost ready for prime time. I mean, if they release the VR right now, if it was a situation where they say, hey, look, the VR is still being worked on, but if you want to use it online, go right ahead. So I will say that is that I can't use the VR online yet. I think what they've done is I think they gated off the online from the VR. So every time I try to go online with the VR, it crashes the game. So I think that was a move that was done by the developers because I think they don't want anybody accessing online trying to play in VR and probably, you know, crash the game or cause more bugs or something. So I can definitely tell you that when I play this game, if I plan on doing some online races, then yeah, I got no choice but the race flat screen. But whenever I do single player races, it's definitely going to be VR on this game. Now, one of the things, you know, overlays inside the car, you know, the HUD inside the car, they haven't added that yet. Even though I'm showing you guys an overlay on the stream, I don't have it inside the car with me. I mean, so the only thing I got to go by as far as any kind of telemetries or information is the dashboard itself. You know, I can still keep an eye on tire temperatures.
STCS said, "Hi, did you get MSAA working?"
I didn't touch it. I think the developers optimized it a little bit more. Now let me tell you guys something. I mean, because this looks incredible, as I said before. This is what I think is going on with the game, and I'm gonna say this right now. And this is something I don't normally say. People who have said that the developers released this game in early access because they need the money to finish the game. People felt like the developers weren't transparent when they had a release date, and then they had to change the release, change it to early access instead of the actual release date, stuff like that. And they're saying this and saying that. get off of these developers' back. Stay off of their back, and as the saying goes, let them cook. They are working on this game feverishly. I mean, because they've already put out 4 updates on this game. I really didn't have that many problems with this game to begin with. It already ran good. You know, I had a couple of minor crashes, but the only thing that really stands out is every now and then the menu will be laggy, but other than that, this game runs great. So does the VR, and I think look how smooth it is when those cars go by. It's buttery smooth. Sounds great. The cars is just so smooth. The way it runs so smooth when these cars go by. I just continue to get blown away to see this. You know, I will say that
STCS said, agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me get back to what I was saying about the developers before I go off and sightsee about how beautiful these cars are as they go by. What I think the developers, one of the reasons they released this game in early access, because I think people were saying they should have beta tested this game and released it and let people beta test this game. I really don't know how much that would have helped. I think they released it early access to put this game in actual combat so they can find out what the bugs are, because they could have put this thing in beta and then when they release it, there's still bugs that they don't know about. I think they put it out there right now and put it in actual combat so they can find out what the bugs are, and they got a team of people ready to act at the drop of a dime, because they've got a Discord. They're taking feedback. They're encouraging people to report any bugs, you know. So they're interacting with people, and you know, I've been hearing it on Steam or Discord or whatever. If somebody says they have a problem firing up the game, they'll respond to them. Hey, try this, try that. So let them cook. I think the biggest reason why they put it out right now to get the bugs out is so that this game will be ready for the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans. I think we didn't have a race last year, and a couple of years ago when they did this race, they did it on R Factor 2. The servers crashed, and you had Max Verstappen calling it a clown show and said that he's not going to do it again. That was a really big event because a lot of big streamers entered that 24 hours of Le Mans, and it crashed on everybody. That's one of the reasons why I think they put the game out right now, so they can get all these bugs fixed before it hits. And that's one of the reasons why I think why I see such an improvement in the VR. My original thought was they get the bugs out in time for the virtual Le Mans, and then they come back and work on the VR after the race is over with, and then they officially release the VR. But now I'm led to believe they're going to try to get the whole thing ready for the virtual Le Mans. I believe they're going to try to get the bugs out, and they're going to try to get the VR optimized and get it worked in, you know, to the online network before the virtual Le Mans race. The real life 24 hours Le Mans is the biggest race in the world. It's the biggest single race in the world. And I believe that to be true with sim racing. I believe the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans is the biggest sim racing race in video, you know, as far as sim racing on video games. You could probably make a case that the virtual Daytona 500 might be the second biggest race, but I think that's what this is all about, is to try to get this thing ready for the virtual Le Mans race, which I think is probably going to happen this summer. So I go back to what I was saying about people getting all over the devs. Let them cook. Let them do their job. Let them work. So I'm really optimistic. And like I said, you know, the things that they did, you know, with the trees, you can see the trees swiveling as I pass by. So they never look like a paper cutout. They don't look like a 3D model, but at least they're turning with you. So, oh shit.
STCS said, there is beta of Crew Chief with the LeMans support.
Yep. Now, I want to use Crew Chief, but I'm a little leery of Crew Chief because, see, a couple of years ago, I was using Crew Chief, and it's an incredible tool. I really love Crew Chief. The problem was that when I went to download Crew Chief, my computer gave me a warning that it was data breached, and and through Crew Chief, hackers were able to obtain people's usernames, passwords, whatever. So I stopped using Crew Chief. But I'll go back and revisit it, and go see about downloading it. But if my computer gives me that same message again, that this site has been with password leaks and all that kind of shit, then no, I won't use it. But again, I want to use it because it's an incredible tool. It makes the game more immersive, and it's an incredible tool. So much for that. I just lost my lap time. A Cadillac. So for those of you that's still watching, how does it look on your end? Does it look okay? Does it look jaggy, or is it
time was a 2:23.34.
Now on this game, everybody who's been following this game, in the GTE class, everyone knows that the Ferrari is OP. And I've tried it, and yeah, it is OP. I refuse to use it. This game, so this track right here, for example, the fastest lap I've done in this Corvette so far on Spa is a 2:19.1. I jumped in that Ferrari and did a 2:17.7. So if I did a 2:17.7 in that Ferrari, the real aliens are going to be turning in 2:15s, 2:14s. Hell, even on Monza. I think on ACC, on Monza, the fastest lap I've ever seen, I think I've seen somebody do a 1:45.7. But here on LeMans Ultimate, some of the super duper aliens have gotten down to like 1 144, like 144.8, which is absolutely insane. My fastest lap on Monza is a 147.7 on ACC. And they're turning in 144s on this game. That's insane. One thing I realized about this game versus ACC is that I can hit the brakes much later on this game than I can ACC.
Lap 2, 20.13.
As far as this track goes, the only thing I really gotta get past is the Eau Rouge. It's like 219s are always my target. This game, the Eau Rouge is the biggest thing. Get past that. The Eau Rouge on this game versus the Eau Rouge on ACC. The Eau Rouge, getting through the Eau Rouge on this game, getting through it clean, a little bit tougher than ACC, but on the flip side, it's easier to lose control of your car on the ACC version of Spa. Whereas this car, you might look like you're about to go into a spin, but it's a little bit easier to save it. Oh shit, I think I got a flat spot.
Time 2, 19.48.
I'm happy with that. Yeah, looks good. All right, let's hop on over to Monza and have a look over there.
Logan Thompson said, "Hi Lincoln.
Okay, so I put the settings, I put the weather on clear and sunny, and removed all the clouds. So I think
Logan Thompson said, hopefully you're having a good day.
oh, I'm having a great day, Mr. Thompson. How about you? And I know one thing, I'm already loving this game. It is already my #1 sim, and I just became one step happier. Being that this game looks like the developers have been working on it, because there's a vast improvement from the last time I seen this game a couple of days ago in VR. It looks like it's not too far away from being ready for prime time. So now, well, okay. So it's sunny, and yeah, you can see some slight aliasing on the car, but like I said, it's the super fine details. But for the most part,
Logan Thompson said, I am good. I just finished reading a book called Who Stole My Cheese. It's a book about the 2008 stock market crash. Joaker-san said, I know you like this game, but consider a league in GT7. You'll really like it. Lincoln LOL.
I don't so much have an issue with the league thing. It's just at times I don't find GT7 to be fun because of the dirty racing. And I mean, I think the game had already got off on a bad foot with me because of the ridiculous microtransactions. And I see why Polyphony Digital did that. On GT Sport, the microtransactions was actually okay. You know, most of the cars on there cost anywhere from $3 to $5, and there wasn't anything. It wasn't a situation where you purchase in-game credits and then buy the car with it. You just outright buy the car. You see the game, you see the car, and it either says this many credits or this much, in real currency, which, like I said, was usually anywhere from $3 to $5. You fast forward to GT7, and some of these cars cost one of these cars cost $19 million.
Logan Thompson said, if you like racing games, Rockstar is coming out with a new Midnight Club.
I'm not into those kind of games. Those games are for car collectors. I'm not a car collector. I'm a racer. That's why Polyphony Digital did what they did with the ridiculous microtransactions. They're going after the car collectors, and they're going after the PSVR 2 people. Because for some people, trying GT7 on PSVR 2, this is their first time playing a racing game in VR. And for some of them, they are blown away by this, which they should be, because it is an incredible experience.
But said, hey, how did you got better VR visuals? Did they update?
I think they did. I think they did update the visuals, because it looks a hell of a lot better than it did a couple of days ago. Real quick, coming back to this GT7 situation. If it's already bad enough that the microtransactions, it costs you $20 for like $2 million worth of credit. So you got a car that costs $19 million, so it costs you close to $200 in real money to buy that car. The reason why they did that shit, in my opinion, is because of the PSVR 2 people. They jump into VR and play GT7. They get blown away that they get to drive the car of their dreams, these exotic supercars. They're actually sitting in the car. They're actually driving them. So now they want to go off and buy the cars that they only fantasize about, the Bugattis and Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And then you go to the store You go to the Legends dealership and see that these cars cost $3, $4, $5, $10 million, and then you end up, you don't want to grind because it'll take you forever to earn the credits, so you just pay for it with real money. That left a bad taste in my mouth because I feel like those microtransactions on GT7, they were targeting the car collectors, the casuals, and the PSVR 2 people. The hardcore sim racers like me ain't gonna buy that shit. Because I just, I got all the cars that I want on GT7 there. Most of them are race cars. The rest of them are just cars that the bullshit roulette tickets gave me. But, so yeah, short story long, GT7 had already got off on a bad foot with me. And then I get into the races and see these dirty racers that knock you off the track, and they got a horrible penalty system that doesn't do anything about it. This game right here, the penalty system, the tire model, the damage model, it all intertwines, and the result that you get more times than not is clean racing. If you lock up your tires, you burn a flat spot into your tires and your wheel is shaking. It affects your lap time. It affects the way the car handles. You hit the wall. Right now, you don't see the cosmetic damage, but you feel the mechanical damage because your wheel might be cocked all the way to the left. I think they also implemented a model where I think if you rear end the car way too hard, you're the one that's going to spin out and not the car that you hit, so all that stuff promotes clean racing. I mean, I've only experienced maybe...
Joliker-san said, I respect those points, well said, sir. Logan Thompson said, imagine a twin supercharged toothbrush.
Yep. How about that? So yeah, like out of all the races that I've done, I think I had maybe 3 situations where I ran into a dirty driver. One of them, I did the 2.4 hours of LeMans last Sunday, which was incredible. 2.5 hour race. I had a great time. I streamed that on Twitch, and I was side by side with a guy, and he tried to push me wide. I let him go because I said it's not worth it. We still got 2 hours to go in this race. I just let him go. He ended up fucking up anyway. He ended up going off the track and hit the wall, and I just drove right past him. Now, if I would have tried to fight him for position, it could have been me who would have went off the track, and my race would have been ruined. The other 2 incidents where I dealt with a dirty driver was a guy ran off the track. He was upset that his race was over, so as I was coming by, he drove his car right onto the track and parked it right in front of me, and I hit him. Now my race is over because my car is destroyed. So other than that, it's been mostly clean. Let's do a lap or 2. So we'll skip past the formation lap and get right into it. Let's go. This picture is so sharp. It's so sharp. Look at that beautiful Ferrari. I said it earlier, I know the Ferrari is OP because I'm about 2 seconds faster in the Ferrari than I am in this Corvette, but I refuse to use the Ferrari. It's something about this Corvette that just keeps talking to me. Take the traction control down to 3.
Logan Thompson said, a couple of weeks ago I was playing GT7 and encountered some psychopathic lunatic using cheat codes to win the race.
Oh, that don't surprise me. Because GT7 is one game where they will do whatever it takes to win. Now, the bad thing about the VR here is that they still got to fix the AI, because you'll still see a huge pileup out of nowhere, and you have to try to drive around it. Oh, these cars look beautiful as they go by. I mean, the P2 cars, when they go past you, it's kind of gradually. But the hypercars, when they go past you, I mean, they shoot right past you. Got a Porsche in my rear view. So for those of you that's coming in late, I was telling how this game runs great and the visuals are vastly improved. And I was telling everybody what they did, like with the trees. As I'm passing the trees, you can see that the trees are swiveling as I pass by it. These trees are basically paper cutouts. So I think that was a very smart move, because it keeps the visuals, but because these trees are more or less paper cutouts instead of actual 3D objects, I think it frees up resources for your computer.
That time was a 2:04.
It's the same thing with the crowd. You can't see it because of how fast I'm going. The crowd, they're paper cutouts. They turn as you're passing by them. I got my base shakers going now because LeMans Ultimate now has support on SimHub, so my base shakers are working. Oh shit! That lap's invalidated because the Delta just disappeared. So I hope it looks good for you guys. I hope it looks good, because it looks good, it runs good. I said it before and I'll say it again. I think when this game is done and they're done optimizing the VR, this game is going to look just as good as Automobilista 2.
Jalil said, how is the force feedback?
The force feedback is incredible. And now that I've got my base shakers working, to feel the road effects and the engine RPMs and stuff like that, it adds to the immersion and adds to the experience. This game...
Logan Thompson said, I had a dream once where I was racing on the Nürburgring racetrack and apparently I was in a 70s Dodge Challenger racing against an army of ice cream trucks.
A good one.
That time was a 150.13.
Gotta break that 149. Because that's normally, I do 149s, 148s on ACC. Hey, by the way, did I say how good it runs?
Lap 149.78.
Logan Thompson said, Lincoln, you should star in an action movie with Chuck Norris.
Holy shit! Chuck Norris is old and so am I, so maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. So for those of you that want to check it out, I will stream again tomorrow. My son comes over and I'll be streaming using the Quest 3. Because I would assume that some people are going to have questions of, about how will this work with the Quest 3. It's going to work just as well as it's working with this Quest Pro, but a lot more people than I thought are using the Quest 3 as a PC headset.
Lap 151.69.
It's like once you get going, the AI is not bad, but like when you do single player, the AI is actually pretty good. It's this VR. Oh shit! I think my tires might be wearing out. But yeah, the AI, when you race single player, the AI is much better on single player than it is VR. Because with VR, it seems that there's usually a huge pileup when the race first starts. Damn, dude, he all over me. Worked, he pressured me into a mistake.
Logan Thompson said, I tried VR once in some kind of space adventure video game and apparently started a war with an alien race, all because I decided to steal their leader's crown and chair.
Well, you probably better give it back to them before they come blow your house up.
That time was a 150.76.
I like how the AI is being patient. Car behind me, I like how he's being patient, waiting for his move.
Logan Thompson said, I sold the crown and chair on the black market for $75 trillion.
Well, you better hang on to that money in case those aliens tell you they want their property back.
Time 149.76.
Oh shit. Hypercar. Oh shit, here come a whole wave of hypercars. I'll do another lap or two and then I don't know, maybe we'll do a bit of night racing at LeMans. Shit.
Logan Thompson said, "The sound of a car's engine is like listening to Angles sing."
Damn, I just invalidated the lap. Oh no, still valid.
Lap 149.72.
Another wave of hypercars.
Logan Thompson said, "Attention all refrigerator users, your refrigerator usage fee will be increased to $500,000 within 24 hours.
There you go.
Lap 150.33.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's check out LeMans. Do a night race at LeMans. Do a couple of laps there. Quit to the main menu. Race weekend. LeMans. Corvette again.
Logan Thompson said, "Your shoelaces are untied. Also, what are those?"
What are what? Sorry. Start time is qualifying race start time 12 a.m. There we go. Race length. Oh, it doesn't matter what the length time is. Weather, we're going to go clear. I think we're ready to go. Let's do this night race. Let's do it. See what it looks like. Let's see if the night races look improved. At 58%, 60%, still loading. So yeah, it does take a little bit to load.
Logan Thompson said, "Well, Lincoln, it was nice hanging out with you. It's dinner time. I am having fish dinner with macaroni and cheese. Have a safe and wonderful weekend."
Sounds delicious. You have a wonderful weekend too. Thanks for dropping in. Hope to see you again more sooner than later. Don't be a stranger. $94, 95%. I thought I set this up for night. Time 2:30. Nah, I'm gonna go back and change the settings. Let's see if it will let me. Live timing standings. Yeah, I gotta set this up again because it's not set up for night. Race length 15 minutes. Advanced options. Start time. There we go. It's at the race for 11:30 p.m., so it better be night. So I'm definitely curious to see how this night race will look, and I'm definitely curious to see how it will run. So after a couple of laps here at Circuit de la Sarthe, I think I'll be ready to wrap it up and get some dinner. And, I got to go to work tomorrow and get caught up on some loose ends. And so it's highly doubtful I'll do anything else tonight as far as streaming, but I'll definitely be back tomorrow. So we're at 80%. Let's get ready to get out on the track. I normally don't watch the playback of my streams because I don't like the way I sound. But I will go back and watch the replay of this one because I want to see how good the game looked, from the standpoint of being a viewer. Well, holy shit! That car looks beautiful. You see the reflections on the car, and it's so well lit. Let's do this. Let's go. Damn the. Oops. up close, the cars look really good, but in the distance, still looks good. It just looks so much better up close when you see the cars up close.
Green flag, let's go.
All right, so we got a pile up. This looks beautiful at night. It's running pretty damn good. Seen a hypercar behind me. Fuck. The hypercar distracted me. And that hypercar clipped me. Porsche.
That time was a 4:33.72.
a couple cars turned upside down. That was crazy. Damn, that's bright. Chad Gilder just followed you. Okay. I don't know if he's watching the stream or not, but if you are, thank you. Oh, my lap is invalidated. Not that I cared anyway. I just want to do a couple of laps, that's all.
Time 4:01.85.
I see slight jitters. Still runs good. It runs much better during day races. but I think the developers are far from done optimizing this. I think it's going to turn out to be much better once it's finished. Pretty good year blip right there. Pretty cool. Oh shit.
DJ Stevens said, "Yo, how do you like the sim and do you prefer this or ACC?"
DJ, this is my #1 sim. The physics, the force feedback, audio, I love it. All of it. Now let me switch up and let you hear this car from the outside. Oh shit. Oh shit. All right, I think I'm going to get ready to hang it up. But yeah, this is my #1 sim. And this VR, the VR is still a work in progress. And it's a huge improvement from what I saw a couple of days ago. I think if they really wanted to, I think they could go ahead and release it now. But if it looks this good now and they haven't released
DJ
it.
Stevens said, nice. Well, if the rumors are true about GT7 coming to PC, I'll be able to play with you. I may buy this game soon. People were having issues with the steering wheels going out of control.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple of times, but no, but that was only like on day one, but it hasn't happened since. So since this game come out, this game has been out for about a week and a half now, and they've done about 4 patches. And the only problem that I have with this game to speak of is like the menus. The menu can be a little bit laggy. You know, you highlight something and you select it.
Nathan
it might take
Bazinet said, Holly a nerd face.
All right. With that. Yeah, I think it's well worth the $32. I think now, if you're thinking about getting this game, I think now is the time to get it, because the game is still in early access, and I wouldn't be surprised if when the game officially releases, if they jack the price up to $60 or $70, because even with the bugs and stuff like that people have been reporting on Steam, the reviews of this game are overwhelmingly positive. I submitted a positive review on this game as well myself. I absolutely love this game. Now, car audio, probably make a case that maybe ACC still, as far as sitting inside the car, you could probably make a case that ACC sounds a little bit better. But one thing I like about this game versus ACC is you don't have to be directly next to a car to hear its audio. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I burnt a flat spot into the car by now. Here's another thing you'll like about this game, DJ. There's less idiots online, and there's less dirty players. I mean, out of all the races that I've done, I've only had about 3 incidents where I came across a dirty driver. So the experiences have been mostly positive. Stand outside this car for a second and see what we got here. Car's a little bit scuffed up.
DJ Stevens said, okay, cool. We'll definitely get it then. Gotta back to work and finish up my 12 HR shift.
All right, brother, have a good night. I got to get up and be at work at 5 in the morning myself, so I got to get ready to hang it up. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this game. And now that they've dramatically improved the VR over the last couple of days since I last saw it, it's a pretty big jump. It looks pretty good, and the fact that it looks this good now, and they still haven't officially released the VR support now, makes me have even more hope that it's going to look even better before they officially release it. You know, for a game to be in early access, I think the developers are doing a hell of a job fixing, addressing the bugs in this game. So it's already a great game in this early access stage. I think it's only going to get better, and I've enjoyed the 2.4 hours of LeMans that I competed in last week. I took second place in my class. Really enjoyed it. It was a really strategic game. Wasn't about setting fastest laps. It was about conserving your tires and avoiding wrecks and trying not to damage your car. So really good race. I really had a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to be doing more of these. The sprint races, They're a little bit more dicey because, you know, you're kind of running into some ACC shit with the sprint races because it's a short race. Everybody's fighting for position. But with these endurance races, especially a race that's going to last about 3 hours, nobody does anything stupid because they don't want to run the risk of getting knocked out of the race. You know, they don't want to run the risk of damaging their car and having to make an unscheduled pit stop. So the endurance races on this game, if you like endurance races, this is your game right here. The fun, the racing is clean, and I can't say enough about it. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get my butt on out of here. Definitely want to thank you all for watching, and like a dumbass, I volunteered to go into work tomorrow morning. Hindsight is 2020. If I didn't have to work tomorrow, I'd probably do a 5 or 6 hour stream. That's how much fun I'm having with this game right now. But yeah, I got to get my ass to bed, and we'll definitely stream again tomorrow, assuming my son remembers to bring the Quest 3, because like I said before, I know that people will probably be curious about how this game runs with the Quest 3, and so I'll go ahead and stream it with the Quest 3, and definitely gladly answer any questions. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king, and deuces. We'll see you soon, everybody. Have a good one.